Yeah, ready? You ready for another video? Okay. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Nicole, and we are going to discuss doing market research for a nurse practitioner-led practice. Alright, so let's get into it. Today I have my blue popping notebook because this is where I did all of my notes specifically for nurse practitioner-led business. Now, most of this research is based on doing opening up a medical clinic or medical practice by myself, no supervising physician. So I had to figure out, where do I want to be able to provide my services? I feel like I need to turn this just a smidgen. Bam, there it is. Okay. So yeah, so I know that every state does not allow nurse practitioners to practice medicine autonomously. So basically what I'm saying is there is no full practice authority everywhere. Now, I am licensed in Florida, and you have to have a supervising physician in Florida. I am licensed in Maryland. You do not have to have a supervising physician in Maryland. They do require you to have previous license in another state or experience in another state, something. So, or you have to have a mentor for 18 months. So basically, when I was doing my research, because of course I want to expand my telemedicine business, I want to provide services other than Maryland. And let me just start with Florida before I get into all of this, because this is just, I'm not even going to read every word I wrote, because I'm telling y'all, like, it's just like, it's a lot, and it's pages. So we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. So let me just say, I plan to bring my services to Florida. Last year, for all of you Florida nurse practitioners or future nurse practitioners, you may or may not know that a bill was passed by the House of Representatives in Florida to allow nurse practitioners to practice autonomously, to give us full practice authority. And it was killed in the Senate. That's it. Didn't happen. So another bill was proposed in, I want to say, either November or December of last year. It is, and please look this up if you want, House Bill HB 607. I am watching this bill like a hawk, because and like praying, just fingers crossed, toes across, because if this bill passes this year, it will give us full practice authority in Florida. And that means that I can now practice in the state where I live without having to pay a physician thousands and thousands of dollars to be my supervising physician. Now, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I want to expand my telemedicine business, but I learned so much from the physicians who I've been able to follow in school for my practicum, my clinicals basically, and I've learned so much from the pediatrician that I work with right now. So for me to say that I would not want to continue to work under or side by side with a physician to some extent would be a lie. I just do feel that there's so much to learn from the right physician, an experienced physician. Also, there's so much that I learned from the physicians that I worked with in the ER. And I was able to pick so many brains who came from so many different backgrounds, who came from so many different, schools. They did their residencies in different areas, worked in different ERs. And the level of knowledge is insane. There's a lot of nurse practitioners with a lot of knowledge, equivalent knowledge, because I don't know their experience and I don't know which brains they've picked. So that is definitely not to say nurse practitioners aren't capable of providing the same knowledge. I'm just giving you guys my experience. I love working with the pediatrician I work with. So she's so sweet, and she teaches without making you feel any type of way. So as a new nurse practitioner, oh my God, my husband is revving his motor, y'all, and he's gonna see this video and he's gonna be like, she talking shit about me. I am, and I'm about to go tell him. So y'all hold on. Okay, y'all, I'm back. So I know that probably didn't sound very loud to y'all, but it was super loud to me, and I just had to let him know. No, he's not in trouble, but it just seems so loud. And this is why I don't record a lot, y'all, because my house is so, what's happening? Okay, there we go. So my house is just so loud all the time, and I don't want to be making videos and trying to talk to y'all and y'all like, this girl always got some yelling going on. I can't watch her. So I was trying to get it together. Oh my goodness, what is happening today? Okay, we're gonna do right. It must be, I don't know what my camera doing. My focus, the little box is going all over the screen. Okay, well, here we go. So one of the first things I did is I researched the states with full practice authority, and this was done in October actually. I launched Urgent NP in October for Maryland, but I knew I wanted to expand, so I did some research. And I can tell you that I'm gonna tell you guys the states that have full practice authority from A to Z basically. Excuse me, it's Alaska, Arizona, Colorado, Connecticut, Hawaii, Idaho, Iowa, Maine, Minnesota, Montana, Nebraska, Nevada, New Hampshire, New Mexico, North Dakota, Oregon, Rhode Island, South Dakota, Vermont, Washington, and Wyoming. So, what is happening? Okay, I came back to record, and now I don't know if it's catching lint or what it's doing, but this camera is like, the focus of the box is all over the place. I don't know. So I'm sorry if this goes out of focus. I'll try to catch it. I don't know. Maybe I need to clean the screen. Yeah, no, maybe. Okay. What the hey? What's happening? What we doing? Okay, so if you heard your state, then your state has full practice authority. So let me be more specific about this. Colorado gives full practice authority after 1,000 hours with an MD or DO. Please, I hope y'all know what DO is, because there's about 30-something different types of doctors in the United States. Probably more in the world. I'm speaking about the country I'm in. 30-something different types of doctor degrees. 2 are physicians, that is the medical doctor and the doctor of osteopathic medicine. So when you go to the hospital or you go to the clinic or whatever, when you hear doctor, that could be a MD, DO, or nurse practitioner. Just be clear, okay? You have to practice in Colorado 1,000 hours minimum with an MD or DO oversight or mentor. In Connecticut, you have to have 3 years of oversight with a physician or mentor. In Idaho, you just need to take a 30-hour course. In Maine, you have to register with the state PDMP. I don't know what that is because I'm not in Maine, but I'm just letting you know, if you're in Maine, you need to register with the state PDMP. And you can Google that. Montana, you must take a pharmacology and disease management course and apply for prescriptive authority. In Nebraska, you have to do a 30-hour farm course. In Nevada, you must have a Nevada Board of Pharmacy license to prescribe meds. Never heard of that. That's new. And you need to be prescribing meds as a nurse practitioner. So, hey, you got to have that in Nevada. In North Dakota, you need a 30-hour farm course in pharmacology. In Rhode Island, you must complete a Uniform Controlled Substance Act registration to practice autonomously. In Vermont, you must have 16 hours of practice with a MD or DO. And I also wrote that Vermont is they have a prescription monitoring system registration that you have to do. Now, there's 2 states that have a compact license. Oh my goodness gracious alive. What is this doing? I'm gonna have to get my husband. Y'all know my husband is a photographer, videographer, so how he's gotta check this out. I'm tripping. Okay, so the 2 states that have the compact legislation laws, only 2 states, is Idaho and Wyoming. So if you get a license in each one of those states, then you can work in the other. So those are the only ones that allow that. Another thing that I researched is the most telemedicine friendly states. Those states are Arizona. If you hear your state, check a box, okay? Alaska, Arizona, California, Colorado, Connecticut, Florida, Hawaii, Idaho, Maine, Minnesota, Missouri, Montana, Nebraska, New Jersey, New Mexico, Nevada, New York, Utah, Vermont, and Washington. If you don't want to do telemedicine, that doesn't matter. But in this day and age, even if you have brick and mortar, you still may want to offer telemedicine, so keep that in mind. The most restrictive telemedicine states are Arkansas, Georgia, Massachusetts, Maryland, which is crazy. I didn't know that at the time. North Carolina, North Dakota, New Hampshire, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, South Carolina, and Texas. So when I say restricted, that means that can I do telemedicine in Maryland? Absolutely, but you just have to review their laws. You know, they have a little bit stricter laws, basically. The largest state by population, and the reason why I searched the largest state by population is because you want to reach the most patients as possible, okay? If you are in a state with, you know, a smaller state and you're thinking, I'm not going to make much money in this state as a nurse practitioner, so I want to move somewhere, I want to start a practice somewhere that is highly populated, not just telemedicine, so keep this in mind. It's in order: California, Texas, Florida, New York, Pennsylvania, Illinois, Ohio, Georgia, North Carolina, Michigan, New Jersey, Virginia, Washington State, Arizona, Massachusetts, Tennessee, Indiana, Missouri, Maryland, and Wisconsin. And I also researched 10 best states. This is so important. 10 best states to open a medical practice. It is, I'm sorry, 7 best states: Washington, South Dakota, Wyoming, Wisconsin, Colorado, Nebraska, and Iowa. Those are the 7 best states to open a medical practice. Now, keep this in mind. The states with the highest paid nurse practitioners are Mississippi, Wyoming, Texas, Michigan, Arkansas, Minnesota, Iowa, Georgia, Oklahoma, Indiana, Arizona, and Washington State. Notice that Florida is not on the list of the highest paid nurse practitioners. And that's so important because I got so many comments about my pay being $85,000 for the first job. Do not work there anymore. Just saying. $85,000 a year as a nurse practitioner in Florida is not bad. I know it's bad in other places. I recognize that. I want to make more than that. I'm just telling y'all. My first job, that's what it was. $85,000 the first year, $90,000 in the second. And I didn't stay for the second, but yeah. So understand, if you want to make the most money as a nurse practitioner, you might want to be working in Mississippi, Wyoming, Texas, Michigan, Arkansas. Those are the top 5. I also looked into telemedicine parity laws. Basically what this means is, if you have a practice and you want to bill insurance, they have to pay you the same as if a patient walked through a door in an office. Just because it's telemedicine doesn't mean they get to pay you less or cut you in any form or fashion. So that's what this law provides, to say, no, it doesn't matter if it's telemedicine. You have to pay that company, that provider, the same as if they saw the patient in person. And there's 29 states that have this. I'm not going to go through the 29 states. If you want to know if your state has a parity law, if you're even interested in telemedicine, just search your state. Let's just say Arizona. Does Arizona have a telemedicine parity law? And at parity, that's P-A-R-I-T-Y. And see, yes, they do. Arizona does, by the way. There's 29 states that do, so just keep that in mind. So basically what I narrowed it down to is, I'm already licensed in Florida. We don't have full practice authority yet. They're trying very hard. They're trying very hard to give us full practice authority. So definitely Florida's always going to be on the list of, this is where I'm going to practice my telemedicine. Not right now, eventually. Maryland, obviously, I'm already in Maryland as a nurse practitioner. My business is registered in Maryland, and that is the best place for me right now to provide my medical services via telemedicine. The other states that I plan to get licensed is Arizona, Washington, and Wyoming. And reason being is, as I went through, I highlighted the states that allow full practice authority. I mean, and not only just allow full practice authority, but they don't make you do anything extra, basically. Like, you need to practice on a physician for 1,000 hours and all of that. These states don't ask for that. You're a nurse practitioner and you have your nursing experience, you've made it through an MSN or DNP program, you can practice medicine. And I basically went through and highlighted the states that allow full practice authority, the states that are most telemedicine friendly, the states that are highest population wise, the states that are the best state to open a medical practice, the state that pays the highest nurse practitioner, and I narrowed it down, and the states that have a telemedicine parity law, narrowed it down to those states. Wyoming was on every list. I don't know what it is about Wyoming. It wasn't the most populated, but it seems to be very friendly for nurse practitioners. I don't know who's in Wyoming. If you're in Wyoming, comment on this video, because I need to know about Wyoming. And this is, now that's the research that I did for my telemedicine business. I also have researched nurse practitioner-led businesses in any state. Just Google nurse practitioner-led business, and I've come across some amazing offices. Their websites are beautiful. They're so professionally laid out. Beautiful, beautiful. It just looks equivalent, if not better, than some of the medical practice sites I've seen. So there's some nurse practitioners out there doing their thing. Do you hear what I say? Doing their thing. When you go to another nurse practitioner's website, look at the services they are providing. The reason why I say that is because if you find a medical practice, primary care office, that is a nurse practitioner owned and led practice, and they are providing this service and you're a nurse practitioner, surely you'll be able to provide that service too, if you're comfortable with it, if you know how to do it, if you've been educated on it. Just think about it. There's a nurse practitioner in Florida who does, and she's doing very well. I don't know her. I've only done research and found her. She is doing tattoo removal. She is doing lip fillers. She's doing laser hair removal. And she's not offering a ton of services. She is just offering the right services. So as long as you have been trained to do whatever, you can do it. The thing about that nurse practitioner, any nurse practitioner I found in Florida, obviously they have to have a supervising physician, and you have to have enough income, enough revenue to be able to pay that supervising physician. I don't want to deal with that. This is just my own personal thing, and it's because what I've seen in working for another company as a nurse practitioner in a state that requires a supervising physician, which is Florida. He may not ever even lay eyes on you. He may not ever lay eyes on the patient. He has simply signed one piece of paper. He or she, I'm saying he and I shouldn't do that. He or she has signed one piece of paper called protocols. And you are doing everything else. And that person is getting paid thousands. And at the end of the day, and that's annually, not thousands a month. Some are, but they're getting paid all of that money to basically just sign one piece of paper every year saying that they they're supervising you. Are they really supervising you? Probably not. Can you communicate with them? Sure, yeah, you can if you have a question. But if you know what you're doing and you don't, there's no hiccups, and that's not guaranteed, just saying. But if there's no hiccups, you know what you're doing. It's a simple, basic practice, whatever you're doing, whether it's laser hair removal or just primary care, and you don't need that person there. They're just getting paid a lot of money to sign a piece of paper, and I don't think that is right. If you have an active supervising physician that is invested in your company, not money wise, I mean mentally, emotionally invested in that business, not only because their name is attached to it, but because they believe in you, then that's a different thing. But if you just found somebody to sign that protocol paper, I just don't agree with paying that person, I don't know, $15,000 a year, $20,000 a year, just to say they're supervising you. To me, it should be illegal. It should be illegal, but that is the reality. That is the reality. So that is the information that I have for you guys. I don't think that I've forgotten anything when it comes to doing some nursing research on starting your medical practice. I do know that there's certain services that you will provide that you have to get extra training, such as Botox, lip fillers, laser hair removal. You will need to get additional training for that. If you offer anything like IV infusions, you've been doing that all your nursing life, so you don't even need to get any extra training for that. And just get on the Google and do some research. If you want some true research, go to Google Scholar and type in whatever your focus is, and that'll give you true scientific research about whatever it is. So if you guys have any questions, please comment below. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Bye.